WrestleMania is known as the showcase of the immortals, the greatest live sporting event in the history of the world. And this year, WrestleMania was too big for just one night. For the first time ever, and maybe the only time, WrestleMania has gone 2 nights, 14 matches, 7 on each night. Tonight was the jump off of what could be a very interesting and very wild WWE weekend. But if anything serves us right, the main event of night one has sent a shot over the bow to all professional wrestling fans. If you thought WWE was dead, if you thought that they were a laughing stock, why don't you take a look at the final match tonight? Because, ladies and gentlemen, that fight was an all-time classic. What's up, everybody? It's Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio, alongside Didi Woodson, alongside Michael Bullock. The gang's all here for the recap of night one of the 2-night WrestleMania Spectacular. A lot of the event was held at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. However, the main event was in a special location. We don't know where this was held. We probably will never know where it was held. But it was absolutely, it was a happening, to say the very least. All right, so let's jump it off. We start off. Well, there was a pre-show fight. Cesaro versus Drew Gulak. Cesaro won the match in 4 minutes and 25 seconds. WrestleMania officially jumped off with the women's tag team title fight. All right, let's start with a brand fight. Monday Night Raw, Kabuki Warriors, the reigning champions, versus SmackDown Live's Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 15 minutes and 5 seconds and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of the World, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and yes, allow me to plant the flag. SmackDown wins. SmackDown wins. SmackDown does it again 2 years in a row. A SmackDown team captures the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. And Anthony Florio, well, it was a great run for the Kabuki Warriors, but they're new champions in WWE, and I was very happy with this outcome. And this is a actual good match to jump off WrestleMania. Now, I know there was no crowd. Okay, I get it. But the action was actually pretty good. We had actually a pretty good moment in the match, and I could give this about 2.5 stars to jump off WrestleMania. It was a good fight, good performance by all 4 women. Kyrie and Asuka were great heels in this match. The tandem wrestling was excellent. Asuka had her great moment in the fight. Great moment in the fight when they were talking about, ooh, hello, the angry Japanese that Anthony Florio loves. We got a lot of that in the fight, and it worked. It was a decent match under the circumstances, and the crowning of a new champion is actually a major payoff. Even though I know a lot of people don't really know what's going to happen in the very near future because with everything going on, but for a WrestleMania match to start with the women, Well done. I thought this was a good match. Nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo, it's all yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. First off, considering the circumstances, at least for this year of WrestleMania, there will be no. Well, the SRO signs went out.
Nope, it will not.
Yeah. I mean, that's what really makes our shows a lot of fun. But pray to God next year that won't be an issue. But anyways, it's only fitting that we ended WrestleMania last year with the women. We're opening this year with the women, which I think was a great call. And I think you underscored this match a little bit, MF, with all due respect. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher than you on this one because I felt that it was a much better match. I'll even go as far as to call this the sleeper fight of the night, if I'm going to be honest with you. 3.25 stars. Yeah. Cross, Kyrie, and Asuka, they still did a lot of things they would normally do to get the crowd fired up, which made for awkward moments during the bout. And Alexa seemed to adjust the best to performing without a crowd. But other than that, this was a solid tag team match. Both teams used a lot of double team tactics, and there was a lot of action at ringside. Asuka and Zayn played great heels using dirty tricks to get an advantage. You could tell where WWE made certain edits, but it never took us out of the bout. Better than expected, and it gave hope that WWE could pull off a good show under the current circumstances. And welcome back, John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL. Obviously, he was sitting in for Corey Graves with Michael Cole on commentary. That was a nice touch, the new Hall of Famers. So that made that even better. So MF Didi's saying let her back in. She's having technical issues, but she wants back in. So let her back in, and we'll eventually get to her. There she is. All right, very good. So sleeper fight of the night for me. I'm giving this 3.25 stars, and I'll be a man. I'll suck it up. Congratulations, SmackDown. I mean, they've needed a shot in the arm for the longest time, and well, they finally got it, and it's about time because show's been floundering for months. Even though last night's go home show was their best effort in several months. So there you go, MF. You got your WrestleMania moment there. So I could pull the Ben Stein route, but I'm not going to go that far. I mean, we had fun with that at Survivor Series, the Bullet, but maybe we'll save it for that. But for right now, nothing more to say. Michael Bullet, come on in. 3.25 stars. Sleeper fight of the night for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good way to start off the pay-per-view. I mean, it was definitely a really good match. I'll give it 3.25 stars. I mean, a great effort by both women. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll agree. 3.25 stars. It was definitely a great way to start off the show. And yeah, this big thumbs up to SmackDown for coming off with the big win on this one. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, with that said, we're going to move right along to the next fight of WrestleMania, as it was Elias going one-on-one with King Corbin, and Elias wins the match in 9 minutes, much to the delight of Michael Bullock, because I know he does not like King Corbin, but wait, Bullock, you'll get your moment to gloat. Anthony Floyo, you lead off on this match.
Elias won the match. Well, there's only one way. He only won because of one reason. Pulling the tights and getting the win. That's exactly what he did. And if we were doing the commentary, I would have pulled that card out. I would have.
And you would have gone off as well. You would have been the heel commentator asking me if that was a clean victory, if I considered that a clean victory.
Well, normally I would save that for you, but I'm going to save it for our next panelist in just a moment. I already know what his answer is going to be, but we're gonna have some fun with that in a minute. But in all seriousness, 2-star effort. One of the least interesting feud. Well, no, the least interesting feud heading into this pay-per-view. No stakes, and their storyline has not been going very long. That being said, I will give Corbin and Elias some credit. They did a good job. Elias coming out and hitting Corbin with the guitar. I mean, I immediately had flashbacks to the Raw in Providence when we saw him do it the first time, which got a big pop from all of us here. Smart move to make this feel competitive right away. And I'll give him credit where it's due. I mean, I initially had this as a dud to maybe even one going in, but they managed to exceed my expectations. This could have been a boring disaster, but Elias and the King managed to make it competitive. Good for you guys. So I'm going to give it 2 for the effort. It was still one of the worst fights of the night, obviously, but credit where it's due. That's all I can say on that. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Elias pulled the tights, got the win. You're going to call that a clean win, I suppose.
Well, I agree. I mean, it was definitely not a clean victory for Elias, but yeah, this definitely was much better than what I originally thought. I do agree with the rating, 2 stars. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, definitely 2 stars. You had a Corbin try to cheat. He got caught. Elias cheats, but he does it in a way where the ref doesn't see it. So it is what it is. It's not the moment you would think you would want for WrestleMania, but hey, a win's a win, I guess. So not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, next up we had, we thought they were going to save this as one of the big fights of the night. They dropped this one really early for us all, guys. The Raw Women's title match. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. The winner of the bout in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And still, the Raw Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch, she was able to topple the Ace of Spades, the Queen of Spades. Shayna Baszler has suffered her first loss in WWE. Oh my goodness. When everybody thought that Shayna was going to be the one to topple Becky, it was not to be here tonight. Michael Bullock, we all called for Shayna Baszler to win the title. The man has risen and is still the champion of the world.
That's actually a big shocker. I mean, we all thought that, like you said, we all had Shayna Baszler winning this match, but boy, howdy, that was not to be. But you know what? I'm gonna say it, guys. I think it was booking 101 because remember what happened on Monday night? It was Shayna Baszler who got the best of Becky Lynch when she ambushed her. So, I mean, I still wanted Shayna Baszler to win, but there was a part of me that was thinking they were probably gonna go with the booking 101 route, and that's what they did here. So I'm going to give this about maybe 2.5 for the effort here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I mean, this was the biggest shocker of night 1 of WrestleMania, and who knows? Could it be the shocker from the whole weekend? We still got night 2 tomorrow night, so we'll see what they'll have cooked up for us. But as of right now, it's the biggest shocker of night 1. So, Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I'm going with it being about 3.25, 3.5 stars. If this was a damn good match, I mean, they really brought it. I mean, even throwing Becky Lynch into the announce table. I mean, hitting her head repeatedly into it. I mean, this was just just them going, hardcore. Becky said, she people like her aren't trained to fight people like Baszler, but hey, look what she came out with doing. I mean, she came out on top. So yeah, this was a really good match. Of course, I wasn't here Friday to give any predictions, but yeah, this is definitely a booking 101 thing, and that's probably what I would have went with is the booking 101. So I probably would have went with Lynch, but it would have been nice to see Baszler because Lynch has had it for a while, but you know the rumors are Vince has not been really hot on Baszler, so it is what it is. Lynch is still the champion, so congratulations to her, and not much more I'm going to say. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this, like we said, going into WrestleMania, we all were thinking that Shayna was going to win the belt. And there was a little bit of some doubt I had because I was like, what if Becky some way somehow wins it? But I was thinking maybe the Ronda thing, whole 9 yards, Ronda wasn't there. Becky Lynch drops, if she would have dropped the belt, it would have been very interesting to see because then Shayna gets the rub. Guys, I think Shayna's done. I don't think she goes back to Raw. I think the reason why they did that was literally to throw her back to NXT. I just don't see, because remember, going into this, she was labeled as an NXT talent. So this was technically NXT versus Monday Night Raw, and Raw wins. So that's a big shot in the arm to Anthony Florio. Michael Bullock takes a devastating blow, but at the end of the day, it was one of those kind of events. It was really interesting to see how it goes, and yeah, I really got nothing more to add. It's just Becky did it. She won. She's still the champion of the world. Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
I'll take it. I'll gladly take it in that regard. But I will be honest with you. I kind of wanted to see Shayna win the title because, Becky's held it for a year since winning it a year ago in the first ever women's WrestleMania main event. But there's a reason. I think there's another reason for this, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But 3 to 3.25 stars is my rating for this. Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler, they started strong. They never slowed down. Their early exchange of punches was a surprising start, and their intensity did not wane from there. In a real fight, the Queen of Spades would have destroyed the man. However, they did a good job making this a competitive match, especially in the first few minutes. They made plenty of noise, but there were a few awkward moments of silence. Other than that, this was a solid performance from the two submission specialists. A lot of people will be mad Shayna Baszler didn't win, but the quality of the match is more important, and this was a good one. Now, as to why I think Becky went over, perhaps the Rowdy one could be on her way back. Maybe there's some unfinished business there. So, just a thought. So, we lost Bullock for the moment. Maybe he's trying to get back in. I don't know, MF.
No, he's still down.
All right. Well, we'll have to look into that. But for right now, 3 to 3.25 stars for me. Didi started this, right?
No, Bullock started it. Didi was second.
Didi.
Yep. So
Didi's
going to start this next fight, which was for the Intercontinental title, as it was Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, the winner of the bout, 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Champion, Lame Duck Man, Sami Zayn, some way, somehow successfully defends the title. And Didi Woodson, this is another surprise. Basically, everybody on this panel practically called for Daniel Bryan to win the title, and once again, we get goose-egged on this one.
Yeah, I think I probably would have had Bryan winning, but I'm not entirely surprised because you did have the two idiots at ringside with Duckman here. I'm going to give it about 2.5, 2 3/4. I mean, it was still a fairly good match. I mean, they did a lot, and Bryan even played a few games with Zayn before it all ended up going back into Zayn's court. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. It was a surprising match, so to say the least. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no, it was a good match, solid battle. I mean, it was about 2.25 stars. I agree with that, D.D. Woodson. I am shocked that Sami Zayn is still the Intercontinental Champion, though. But it does open the door for maybe another fight. It does open the door for Daniel to get another shot at the belt. Unless they're waiting because of the fact that, well, as many of you guys know, Brie is expecting her second child, and maybe they're thinking right now, hold Daniel off, because of the fact that with Brie, being pregnant, is he really going to be will he be available during all that time as a champion? Who knows if that's possible? So I could see that. Or they just want to have Sami hold the belt a little while longer. So you never know. There's a lot of things that could happen, but my goodness, what a match. I really got nothing else to add. This was an excellent match. Shocking outcome. And Daniel was really, really, really playing that face role too. You had the yes movement. It was definitely out there. But Sami Zayn, chicken bleep, whatever you want to call him, he's still your Intercontinental Champion. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
What was your rating again, MF?
About 2.25.
Little bit underscored there. I'm gonna go a little bit higher on that one, but I had a trade of thought. Now I know. You remember when we did the preview last night? I said I was reluctant about it, and now you finally saw the reasoning why. I mean, I was very reluctant. I mean, you guys were very confident. I was reluctant, and this showed. 2.5 to 2.75 stars is my rating. The heel work from Sami Zayn and his cronies were perfect. Bryan and Gulak are a great combination, and their chemistry was on full display in and out of the ring. This was the best case scenario for this match. Zayn retained his title. Bryan looked like the strong competitor he always is, and the three men around the ring contributed in a big way. Being able to hear everything they were saying to each other enhanced the experience instead of taking away from it as you would expect. So, yeah, maybe there's more in the future. Of course, Bryan obviously can now focus on Brie, obviously, and maybe the COVID-19 stuff. I heard there was some stuff about that going on as well with him. So maybe this was the best case scenario in this case. So 2.5 to 2.75 stars for me. So with that being said, let's move on, MF.
All right. So we will move on to the next fight of WrestleMania, the triple threat ladder match, as it was John Morrison representing The Miz and Morrison, Jimmy Uso representing the Usos, and Kofi Kingston representing the New Day. The winner of the bout in 18 minutes and 30 seconds, and still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, John Morrison, wins the titles for The Miz and Morrison in one of the most wildest endings you'll ever see. The belt, basically, they grabbed the, I guess you could say the device that was holding the belts, and in a big tug of war, Morrison some way somehow was able to unlatch the belts from the device and crashed into a ladder down below. But the thing is, Morrison had both belts in possession. And that's the way to do it. The first man to actually have possession of both tag titles was declared a winner, and they did it. Great high spots, great match altogether. This was definitely one of the top fights for me here at WrestleMania tonight. And I'm going to say it. This was at least a 3.5-star fight. This was amazing. This was a great match. A little surprised on the outcome. I thought Miz and Morrison was not going to win it because I thought the Miz, with a lot of the heat he got going into WrestleMania because of him being sick, I thought that was going to cost them the titles. Relatively not. Actually, the Miz and Morrison, they must really love Morrison right now because they did not let him lose his half of the belt. The Miz, on the other hand, I don't know. He might be getting buried when he gets back. But Morrison, the Shaman of Sexy, rises to the occasion one more time. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
And once again, with all due respect, MF, I think you underscored it again. 4.25 stars for me. This to me, I would probably say maybe the second best fight of the night, although you really can make an argument for fight of the night, really. But there's one other match on here that we're still raving about, and I think that's going to be our fight of the night here. But 4.25 stars for me. We have seen almost everything there is to do with a ladder at this point, but these three guys found a few unique spots to include. John Morrison and Kofi Kingston hit a few impressive high-flying moves that would have gotten huge reactions from a live crowd. And then Jomo's tightrope walk into a Spanish fly was amazing. The spot when Jimmy Uso was pushed off the ladder to the floor was framed so we couldn't see the crash pad he likely landed on. It was only obvious if you were looking for it. This was another great and fantastic performance. Another big moment for SmackDown this evening. Second best fight of the night for me. Even though, like I said, you can make an argument for fight of the night it's between this and the other match we're raving about. But 4.25 stars. That I feel that is the correct rating for this match. So really nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson.
She came out the other day though.
Wow.
So I can't really say she's dormant.
Oh yeah, this was definitely one of the top fights of the night. I'm going to agree with Florio. 4.25 stars. It was awesome. Yep. The ending was a wee bit lame, having him hanging on to the titles when he fell, because instead of him hanging on to the hanger-looking thing, he had the titles. So when they shoved him back, he just, fell with the titles. But at the same time, I mean, it was still a very awesome match. They brought it. It definitely falls in line of all the ladder matches that we've had in the past. It's up there with those matches. It was really good. So I have nothing really bad to say about how the match went. So it's yours, Fletch.
Going off to the Monday Night Raw side of the thing, Kevin Owens goes one-on-one with the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. The fight goes into a no disqualification match, and the winner of the bout in 17 minutes and 20 seconds, Kevin Owens, with a spot that will be remembered for a very long time, a WrestleMania moment spot. Freaking Kevin Owens putting Rollins through a table as he jumps off the freaking WrestleMania sign. Oh my freaking God, are you insane, Owens? What were you thinking? Anthony Florio, you must be a proud papa moment, because your two men from Monday Night Raw absolutely tore the house down tonight with this one.
They certainly did. The only nitpick, however, that I have about it is I did not like the DQ and then starting it back up. What they really should have done, they should have made this a no disqualification match to begin with. That's what they should have done. But other than that, yes, it is a big moment for me. It's a proud papa moment for me. No question about that. When it comes, no, this is not the fight of the night for the Raw side of things. I forgot the other big match was from Raw technically. So, so like you said when we did our 2018 Survivor Series recap show, both shows, Raw and SmackDown, had banner nights, and this was one of our banner moments right here. I can only give it 3.5 stars though. This was a great match, but the pacing was a bit off at times. It may have suffered from a little over editing by the production team. Still, KO and Seth Rollins are two of the best, and they had an enthusiastic exchange. It just didn't feel like it was any different than what we would have seen had this match taken place on Monday Night Raw until it was restarted. This is another bout that would have benefited from having a few people at ringside to make some noise. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins helped by talking some trash, and the sound of the bell hitting Owens in the head was kind of funny. It picked up as it went on and ended up being yet another good match on this unpredictable show. So, and I'll tell you what, you know me, you know how much I have been behind Seth Rollins and how much I've loved Seth Rollins for the last couple of years, especially his big night a year ago. But and there's also been times where I've been very critical of Kevin Owens, especially that very uneventful Universal run he had. But on this night tonight, I can honestly say my respect for Kevin Owens just went up tenfold. That was freaking awesome, my man. That was awesome. So, yeah, it definitely would have been a good old MF, oh my God moment. Yeah, no doubt about that. And that would have rang throughout the Performance Center, let me tell you. But nonetheless, though, hats off to both men. I mean, no big surprise Rollins brought it, but I can probably say that was Kevin Owens' best effort in quite some time. So, well done, gentlemen. That's how you do a match right there. If it wasn't for that DQ, my rating for this would have been higher, but because of that nonsensical booking, I can only give it 3.5 stars, but it was still a fun match. So, third best fight of the night for me. So, really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, I just gained a lot of respect for Kevin Owens tonight.
Yeah, Kevin Owens pretty much showed the same side that we would see like if he was in Ring of Honor, which I've seen a couple of those on YouTube where he was Kevin Steen. And this definitely was the type of match you would see Kevin Steen type do. It was a very good match. Yeah, I'm not real crazy about the DQ and then restarting, but it was still a really good match. They brought it. And yeah, I still hate Rollins' new gimmick, but it is what it is. I agree, 3.5 stars. Definitely one of the top matches of the night. So I'm not gonna say too much else. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. And yeah, I agree with that. I'll give it 3.5 stars, no doubt. I thought that was very interesting to say. All right. So now we go to the Universal title fight. Braun Strowman versus Bill Goldberg. Winner of the bout in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And new Universal Champion, Braun Strowman. He dethrones Bill Goldberg. Look, it started out basically Goldberg hitting 4 spears on Braun Strowman, only getting a 2 count, and then Braun went on the attack. A power slam, a second power slam, hit him with a running power slam on the third to win the title. Finally, by God, finally, Braun Strowman is Universal Champion. He's finally a champion in WWE, and it had to take for Roman Reigns to back out of WrestleMania for this to happen. Didi Woodson, I know it's the worst fight of the night. We can definitely call that, no doubt. But damn it to hell. This guy has been comedy skit, winning other titles, and we were begging for WWE to put the big belt on Strowman. They finally done it tonight, and of all places of WrestleMania.
Just like in the last one, KO finally got his WrestleMania moment. Strowman finally got his WrestleMania moment. He finally got the big title. He finally got to do what he wanted to do. He's a monster among men. He took out the monster of WCW, and he just pretty much cleaned house. And yeah, this was the worst fight of the night, but the newsworthy part of it is the fact that Strowman, who was a last minute throw in to replace Roman Reigns, walks out with the title. And there's a lot of dirt sheets, if you would have read them, that would say Reigns was supposed to walk out with the title. So basically Strowman stepping in to do that. But still, I mean, I don't know of any fan that wouldn't be thrilled right now that it's finally happened. So this was definitely the right call to make, to give it to Strowman. Let's send Goldberg out again for a while, and let's have a champion for the Universal title that we can be proud of, and get behind, kind of like they did with Bray Wyatt when he, when the Fiend had it, everybody was behind him on it. So this is definitely a big step in the right direction. So not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Florio.
I don't get it.
You know what? Let me take it for a moment, Didi. I'll talk it first, and then
Okay.
I'll let Anthony jump in. This was awesome. I'm happy that Braun won the title. I'm ecstatic that Braun won the title. We got a full timer now as Universal Champion on SmackDown Live. That's great for that to happen. I know it was in the expense of one Roman Reigns. I think Roman will get the belt eventually. Obviously, health becomes first, and we get that. But Braun, perfect moment, perfect guy to take the belt. And that's the key thing here more than anything else. I hope they give Braun at least a respectable run as champion. Give him an opportunity to hold the belt for a little bit. Because the thing was, a lot of the people wanted Braun to win the belt for a long time now, for at least a year or so. They wanted him to take the belt. They thought he could have taken the belt from Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia. They didn't do it. They let Brock keep it. Then there was all the other times where they were going to do it. Yeah, there's been issues with Strowman's locker room behavior, whatnot. He's gotten himself in trouble with some of the guys backstage. Well, for what it's worth, they did it. They pulled the trigger, and now the monster among men is now Universal Champion, and I cannot be happier for this big man to be the face, and more importantly, the flag bearer for SmackDown Live. I'm so proud of this moment. I'm happy it's Braun. He was the one I wanted when the draft happened. When I heard that Braun was coming to SmackDown, I flipped. I went nuts. I was excited. And now, tonight of all nights, WrestleMania, Braun Strowman has fulfilled the prophecy that I was hoping for. He's Universal Champion now. Congratulations, big man. Rah! For you, my friend. Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Rah! Oh, yeah. And a great moment that you just had, MF, with the callback to WrestleMania 20 that you just had with Jim Ross when he said those same exact words, finally, by God, finally, the night when Chris Benoit had his big moment. And I actually had you doing that here. That's exactly how I had you doing it. And you nailed it. That's exactly what MF did on the call there. So, finally, by God, finally, yes, Braun Strowman is at long last the Universal Champion. And all I can say is it is about damn time. I mean, you think of everything that this guy has been through over the last couple of years. I mean, this should have happened at least 2 years ago. Honest to goodness.
At least, yes.
Yeah. It's going to be 1 star. It is going to be the worst fight of the night, obviously. I'm going to be a little generous here. I have every right to call it a dud, but I'm not going to do that because there was some good moments there. So, but anyways, Bill Goldberg is the kind of wrestler who thrives on the crowd. So it was a little strange seeing him in this setting for the first time in his Hall of Fame career. If anybody expected this match to be anything more than 3 minutes of finishing moves, that's on you. It was what it was, and now Braun Strowman is the Universal Champion 2 years later than he should have been. Bill Goldberg did the job for his opponent, just like The Fiend did for him in Saudi Arabia. It all comes full circle. Like I said, you think about what Braun Strowman has had to endure the last 2 years. 2 years ago at WrestleMania, they had him win the Raw Tag Team Championships with a 10-year-old. Nicholas Cone, who happens to be the son of referee John Cone. Lame. I thought it couldn't get any lamer for the Monster Among Men at that moment. Last year, you have him try to get 2 Hammonegers from Saturday Night Live over? Lamer. But at least he won the Andre Battle Royal. That was another 2-year moment. He should have won that. He should have won that at 33, honestly. But he didn't. He did at 35 last year. And now finally it's come full circle from winning the Raw tag titles with a 10-year-old to having to be involved in one of the lamest comedy skits I've ever seen. Very unnecessary. Now he finally gets that big moment. And yes, there was another controversial moment Braun Strowman had recently when he made some derogatory comments about, indie wrestlers and
Oh, yeah.
how they've been about the indie wrestlers who have been struggling during these hard times right now. But he has repented. He repented. It took some of the guys, some of his colleagues, and they reminded him about it. They talked to him about it, and then Braun immediately repented. He repented his comments, and I'm glad he did. So, but even with all that, from a poor choice of words, lame comedy skits, winning the Raw tag titles with a 10-year-old kid, he overcame all of that. And I wish it was under better circumstances, but at least Braun Strowman is finally what he should have been 2 years ago at least, and that is the Universal Champion. I wish it could have been when he was on Raw, but hey, MF, I mean, it's another banner moment for SmackDown Live, Friday Night SmackDown. I hope they do give him a good run with it. Hopefully we'll get to see more title bouts. Whatever continues on here. So that's all there is to say. It's 1 star. It's the worst fight of the night, unfortunately, but a big moment for Braun Strowman. You damn sure deserve it, big man. That's all I can say on that. And all I can say, MF, is as we throw it to you, it's about damn time. And now let's get into one of the wildest, craziest main events that we're going to be talking about 20, 50, 100 years from now.
The main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, the Boneyard match. AJ Styles versus The Undertaker. Taker wins the match in 35 minutes. Okay. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what kind of match it was. This was the equivalent of Buried Alive. That's exactly what this match was. Buried Alive, Taker versus AJ. And the way they did this, the way the story went, and let me tell you, it was almost similar to TNA and the Ultimate Deletion, or anything that was back in the day of the Hardy Compound, the Apocalypto match, or Decay or Delete, Delete or Decay, any one of those type of battles, WWE made this worth watching. Everybody from the IWC to WWE Universe to the wrestlers from WWE to wrestlers from around the world are all praising this match right now. I'm going to go as far to say this. This is possibly The Undertaker's greatest match in WrestleMania history. And as far as it goes, this fight was so good. This fight is a 5-star classic. I'm giving it 5 stars right now. It's the fight of the year, and I'll go as far to say it's now in my top 5 of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. It goes up there. It is up there. Now, I don't think it's number 1, but it is in the top 5 for the greatest matches in WrestleMania history to me. Nothing more to say. The psychology of the story, this was a masterclass by WWE, and for all the negatives that they got, they absolutely crushed it with this one. And as a matter of fact, there's another fight tomorrow night that's outside of the WWE Performance Center, which is Wyatt versus Cena. That match now got me very excited, because if it's anything like Cena, like Taker and AJ, Cena and Wyatt might be just as good as tonight. And that now got me very excited for that match tomorrow night. So, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
25-2 is now The Undertaker's record at WrestleMania. I mean, wow. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, the only thing left, I mean, yes, you brought up the Ultimate Deletion and all that, Hardy Compound stuff that we saw in Impact Wrestling. I mean, but you could also make an argument that this had a little bit of a Lucha Underground feel.
It did.
I mean, Lucha Underground did the same kind of stuff. I mean, for some angles. And here, man, I agree. This was the show stealer. This stole the dang show. Can I give it 5? I mean, I can make an argument. I think right around 4.5 to 5. It's absolutely the fight of the night. It stole the dang show. I mean, maybe I have to rewatch it again, but man, I mean. But then again, when MF says something, you take it to the bank. I mean, he was right about, one situation that I know we'll address tomorrow night. But, oh, yes, this definitely had a 5-star feel, no question. Also, not having commentary was the right choice, as hearing Michael Cole and JBL or Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton call this match would have taken us out of the moment. This was easily the most unique match we have seen in a long time. Everything from the presentation to the way they were fighting was different. This was more like an experimental film than a wrestling match, and honestly, that worked in its favor. WWE took a lot of inspiration from Matt Hardy's Ultimate Deletion and used it to create something special. This was the best possible outcome for The Undertaker at this point in his career. WWE did a great job putting this together in a way that made him look better than he has in years. Now, this is where I have to disagree with MF. Yes, the match was a 5-star classic. Yes, this stole the show for night 1 of WrestleMania. Would I consider it Taker's greatest match ever? I'm sorry, not quite. Top 3, yes. But I would have to say this was his third greatest match. To me, there's only 2 Taker WrestleMania matches that were better than this one. Shawn Michaels at 25 and End of an Era. Those are the only 2 that I feel were better. But this was absolutely insane. I mean, Taker, he came back as the American Badass. They brought him back for that. That's even more of a nice touch. And this was absolutely awesome. I mean, this is a match that we're going to be talking about 20, 50, 100 years from now. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. We're going to definitely remember this one. And to the card for night 2, good luck trying to top that. Because this may have been we just might have witnessed the show stealer for WrestleMania 36 right here. So, well done, Undertaker. Well done, AJ Styles. I mean, that was fun. And yes, MF, you're right. My excitement for the Firefly Funhouse match with the Fiend and Cena tomorrow just went up a bit. So that's all I can say on that. So well done, gentlemen. That was a masterclass. Well done. 5-star classic, fight of the night. I don't know about WWE match of the year, absolutely. But when it comes to overall match of the year, for me, as of right now, it's still Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks from AEW Revolution. That's still the fight of the year for me overall. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson. What did we just witness?
They're like all happy about it. Oh yes.
We witnessed something that was just amazing. I mean, definitely up there. It's one of the best matches that they've had in a while. And yeah, I could go with Fletch and compare it to the Hardy compound matches. The one with Bray Wyatt, the one with Jeff that was on the Impact and stuff like that. But I mean, this, we've seen the vignettes of Taker with the tombstones and the names on there and everything. This just kind of cemented that. I mean, because here AJ said, "I dug this for you," and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden at the end, after it's AJ that got buried, you pull the veil and it's AJ Styles, and it's like, wow, it's and Taker in the grave, and then all of a sudden behind AJ. It's just it was just amazing the way it went. Not surprised that the OC got involved. A little surprised to see the other guys in the blacks that was on the OC's side, but I mean, it was still very, very well done. This is definitely a newer version, I guess you could say, of the badass Taker, biker Taker, whatever you want to call him. This was definitely a different version of that because he kind of mixed Dead Man and biker together. Because this was just amazing the way that it came out and very personal. Bringing up Michelle McCool, bringing up Undertaker's real name, bringing up AJ's real name. Very, very personal match. So yeah, very well done. Definitely 5-star classic. And it's going to be hard to, they've set the bar very high with this one, so it's going to be really hard for them to beat it tomorrow night with any of those matches. But we'll have to wait and see what happens, how they end tomorrow night, and how this Firefly Funhouse match that we have coming up, if it's going to be anything like this. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. And, well, just to set the table for tomorrow night's WrestleMania, we do have a pre-show fight. it will be Liv Morgan versus Natalia, and then 8 more matches on the WrestleMania card. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler, 1-on-1. We got Randy Orton and Edge in Last Man Standing. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. The Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza, and that's for the Raw Tag Team titles. The 5-way for the SmackDown Women's title. Bayley puts the title on the line against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. Of course, Rhea Ripley puts her NXT Women's title on the line against Charlotte Flair. Of course, John Cena 1-on-1 with the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse fight. And in the main event, Brock Lesnar puts the WWE title on the line against Drew McIntyre. That will be tomorrow night for the second night of WrestleMania. And guys, a programming note, after Mania goes off the air, we will be back and do this all over one more time to recap. Guys, this is going to be an unbelievable evening, and we'll give you our overall review tomorrow night. We're not going to do it tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll do it then. So, for Anthony Flayo, for D.D. Woodson, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Comment, like it, share it with all your friends on all the social media platforms. Have a good night, everybody, and so long.